From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I am Ahmed Ramadan. Comedian Azhar Usman's new film, The Islamic States of America, blends stand-up and satire to challenge misconceptions about Islam and American politics. This and more on today's show. Stay tuned. The Trump administration has announced the lowest refugee limit in U.S. history. Only 7,500 people will be allowed entry in the 2026 fiscal year. A notice in the Federal Register says priority will go to white South Africans called Afrikaners. The order cites humanitarian concerns for giving this group priority and calls Afrikaners victims of unjust racial discrimination. Under Trump's Executive Order 14204, which was issued in February, federal agencies are required to assist in the resettlement of these refugees. The order also directs a cut in U.S. aid to South Africa, accusing its government of mistreating Afrikaners. The South African government has rejected the claim, calling it baseless and politically motivated. The new cap represents a drastic cut from the 125,000 refugees admissions approved under former President Joe Biden. Human rights groups say the move politicizes refugee policy and discriminates against vulnerable communities worldwide. Two prosecutors have been placed on leave after their description of those who attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021 in a court filing. ABC News says prosecutors Carlos Valdivia and Samuel White were locked out of their government accounts soon after submitting the memo. The case involves Taylor Taranto, who was pardoned by Trump for participating in the attack and later convicted on gun and threat charges. Valdivia and White's memo said January 6 was an attack by a mob of rioters. That line was deleted in a revision version filed later. The Justice Department has not commented. Prosecutors still recommend a 27-month sentence for Taranto. His hearing is set for Thursday before Judge Carl Nichols. The suspensions come amid unrest in the Washington U.S. Attorney's Office. Several career prosecutors have faced removals or demotions over their handling of cases related to the January 6 attack. President Donald Trump has urged Republicans to scrap the Senate filibuster to end the ongoing government shutdown. In a Truth Social post, Trump said it was time to play their Trump card and use the nuclear option to eliminate the rule. The filibuster allows senators to delay or block legislation unless 60 members vote to end debate. Trump claimed that Democrats were blocking progress and accused them of trying to divert funds from Americans. He dismissed Republican fears that changing Senate rules could later help Democrats, insisting the GOP should take advantage now. The shutdown, now in its fourth week, has left hundreds of thousands of federal workers unpaid and disrupted essential services. Air traffic controllers and TSA agents continue working without pay while food aid programs face mounting strain. Trump said ending the filibuster would immediately end this ridiculous shutdown. Texas has frozen a program that helped businesses owned by women, minorities, and veterans compete for state contracts. Under the historically underutilized business or HUB program, the state's comptroller's office put on hold all new and renewed certifications. Currently, women-owned businesses are its biggest beneficiaries. Officials say the review is to ensure that the program complies with Republican Governor Greg Abbott's January 31 order that bans diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI policies. Texas Acting Comptroller Kelly Hancock argued that contracts should be based on performance, not race or sex quotas. However, critics say the suspension targets programs that level the playing field, ensuring fairness. Democrat Texas Senator Royce West co-authored the original law, which was passed in 1999. He said the HUB program was never about quotas, but about fair access. The freeze comes amid Republican leaders' wider attack on DEI efforts in Texas. Ending the HUB program entirely could only take place through court action or new legislation. American Muslim comedian Azhar Usman will release his first solo stand-up film on YouTube on November 24. The Islamic States of America is a 47-minute black and white project directed by Paul Elia. The film combines live stand-up and scripted scenes filmed in Chicago and Hollywood using humor to critique American politics and social contradictions. Usman also challenges common misconceptions about Islam in the film while exploring faith, fatherhood, repentance, and identity through personal experiences. Born and raised in Chicago to Indian Muslim parents, Usman is a licensed attorney and former fintech entrepreneur. He has also written, acted, and produced for Netflix, Disney, and Amazon on projects like Rami, Mo, Miss Marvel, Deli Boys, and Patriot. A secret U.S. report confirms hundreds of Israeli human rights violations in Gaza, breaching U.S. aid laws. Details coming up next.
My name is Layla. I was an average kid until Zula Inc. broke into my life because my dad discovered time travel. After that, everything changed.
You're the new girl Layla, right?
Whoa! What if I don't fit in?
Abdullah!
Do I hear my name? Welcome to Vancouver, cuz.
Whoa!
You four have been specially chosen to take our project into the next generation.
You can time travel?
Abdullah! No! Abdullah! Where?
Do you really think I don't know why we had to leave Seattle, Mama?
Now here, keep these close. These should never leave your wrist.
This virtual reality game is crazy. You can even eat. This is reality, buddy. We zoomed through a wormhole.
Oh no! My Go Watch! It's gone!
What does this do?
That's Al-Khwarizmi. You know, the father of mathematics. It's because of him we have algorithms.
I will not stop until your legacy, everyone's legacy, lies in ruins. Of course it was you. You little rascals ruined everything.
Your fate will be great. Just don't give up.
Time Hoppers.
Welcome back. A classified U.S. government report has found many hundreds of human rights violations by Israeli forces in Gaza. The internal review by the State Department's Inspector General warns it could take years to investigate the cases under U.S. laws. According to the Washington Post, the findings mark the first official acknowledgement that Israel's violent acts in Gaza violate the Lehi laws. The laws prohibit U.S. assistance to forces involved in torture or extrajudicial killings. Officials say Israel receives special treatment through a separate vetting system that makes halting aid more difficult. Former State Department official Josh Paul said no U.S. aid has ever been suspended despite clear evidence of abuses. Israeli forces continue to violate the U.S. brokered ceasefire in Gaza. 3 Palestinians were killed Friday as Israeli warplanes and artillery bombed several areas across the region. Strikes hit Khan Yunis in the south and neighborhoods in northern Gaza City, even though Israel claimed it had returned to the truce 2 days ago. Witnesses say Israeli troops also demolished civilian homes in Gaza City and Khan Yunis, while naval gunboats opened fire off the coast. Medical officials at Nasser Hospital confirmed receiving the bodies of 30 Palestinians returned by Israel, many showing signs of torture. The handover followed Hamas's return of 2 deceased Israeli prisoners to the Red Cross. The incident highlights the human toll of Israel's mass detention campaign, which rights groups say has led to thousands of deaths and disappearances. Palestinians in Gaza fear a new wave of bombing as food and shelter remain scarce. Psychologists warn that more than 80% of Gaza's children now suffer severe trauma after 2 years of relentless genocide, which has killed at least 68,527 people and wounded over 170,000 since October 2023. Israel forces. Israeli soldiers killed a 15-year-old Palestinian boy during a late-night raid in Silwad near Ramallah. Troops fired live rounds, tear gas, and stun grenades, triggering clashes. Local media said Yemen's Samad Hamid was shot and left bleeding as soldiers blocked an ambulance from reaching him. He was later pronounced dead at the Palestine medical complex. Israeli raids and settler violence have sharply increased across the occupied West Bank since the start of Israel's genocide in Gaza in October 2023. Palestinian officials say Israeli forces and settlers have killed more than 1,060 people and wounded 10,000. The International Court of Justice has deemed Israel's occupation of the region illegal. Illegal Israeli settlers set fire to 2 Palestinian vehicles on Thursday in Burqa village east of Ramallah amid a surge in settler violence. According to the Bedouin rights group Al-Baydar, the arson was part of a wave of attacks targeting Palestinian homes and property across the occupied West Bank. At the same time, Israeli forces raided the Farah refugee camp in Tubas, searched several houses, and blocked residents' movement, witnesses told Anadolu news agency. Rights monitors say Israeli settlers have carried out more than 7,000 assaults in the past 2 years, killing 33 Palestinians and displacing dozens of Bedouin communities. Observers say new burqa bans spreading across Europe and the US violate religious freedom and women's right to choose what they wear. More than 20 countries already restrict burqas and niqabs, and others, like Portugal and Italy, are moving to join. Rights groups warn that such laws target Muslim women under the guise of cultural or security concerns. Experts say they stigmatize minorities and deepen divisions. Supporters led by populist and right-wing politicians claim the coverings represent extremism or defiance of Western values. Analysts note that these moves are part of a wider political trend linking religious dress to immigration crackdowns. Populist leaders across Europe and the US are using fears about identity, crime, and migration to fuel support. The result, they say, is a growing normalization of policies that marginalize Muslims and chip away at fundamental freedoms. Pakistan's first Islamic nano-finance app, Hakeem, is redefining how low-income workers access credit. Built by Wali Financial Services under CEO Mohammed Ahsan Tahir, the platform offers Sharia-compliant microloans. It disperses loans through mobile phones using AI-based credit checks and digital ID verification. Tahir says the goal is to build financial systems that serve people's needs while honoring Islamic values. Hakeem recently won the Emerging Fintech Award at the Singapore Fintech Festival and is nominated for the 2025 APAC Payments Excellence Award. The app partners with firms like Leijiao.pk and NCHD to support women, domestic workers, and small earners. Every transaction is overseen by Sharia advisors to ensure compliance. Tahir envisions Hakeem as a model for ethical, inclusive finance across emerging markets, proving technology can expand opportunity without moral compromise. Scientists at Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland have discovered that electricity can speed up healing. Experts say it marks a step towards using electricity to help the body heal itself faster and more naturally. The study shows that electrical currents can reprogram immune cells called macrophages to calm inflammation and repair tissue. Macrophages normally defend the body against infection, but when they overreact, they can cause chronic inflammation and damage. The team found that applying mild electrical stimulation turned these cells into healing agents instead. The treated cells showed less inflammation, grew more blood vessels, and attracted stem cells to wounds. Researchers say this approach could lead to safe and effective treatments for chronic diseases and injuries. Because the study used human blood cells, experts believe it has strong clinical potential. The study was published in Cell Reports Physical Science. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.